Between the rise of the Kimrog Empire and the tumultuous Demon Wars, there was an enigmatic era. A time when brave souls traversed oceans and continents in search of glory, riches, and power. Let us tell you of the days of high adventure.
Hello and welcome back to High Adventure. We are here with the brothers Zhen, who had a very interesting adventure in the last session. They decided to finally take on the mountain. And they, through a series of dangerous explorations, climbing, infiltrating, stealthing, and combating, you guys were able to actually discover quite a bit about the mountain. Some of the things that you discovered, first of all, is that there are more than just 8 of these white furs. There perhaps is a sort of family system, because you discovered that they have offspring that are not fully grown adult white furs. You also discovered that, well, you discovered a habitat. Now, you guys may remember that this was, you believe maybe where the human-looking person had been living within the mountain. Do you remember what you found?
Yes, we found a chest with 3 sets of clothing and a ring, a signet ring, a inkwell that was dried up, and
journal.
A journal. That's correct. And a chair. And a fancy chair.
Yes.
That we didn't inspect enough, I don't think.
Yes.
The
All
world did
things that looked like they were not from this island.
They looked like
and were you able to decipher the journal?
Not yet.
No.
So you guys recognized that it was a language that you aren't familiar with or literate in, but it seemed to be the same script as what the Iraqi people from the town of Titsi actually write in, and you recognize that script. So you're sure that once you share this with an Iraqi person, that they will be able to translate it for you.
During the short rest, could I attempt to read like maybe a couple words or anything from it, divine anything?
Actually, there might be some words that you would recognize, because in the course of your interactions, like when you guys had established yourselves with Gisvomai, the matron or matriarch of that farming community that you guys have tied yourselves to, I would say that she probably at some point would have shown you her record keeping. That makes sense, right? As you guys are kind of took on these responsibilities in assisting her of a lot of the farm labor, she probably would have had some occasion to maybe share with you some of that record keeping in terms of crops, or maybe, crops that went to market and how much they sold for. So I would say that you have a chance to translate this. As there is no mechanic in D&D 5e for linguistics, I'm going to say that you can make a intelligence, you can make a roll. You don't get to add your proficiency bonus, but you get to add your intelligence bonus if you have such a bonus.
I do.
And
all right.
You want to roll high for this. The higher you roll, the more you'll be able to kind of decipher.
And here we go. That's correct. 18.
Okay. So with an 18, you are able to find some common terms that you are familiar with from from some of your observations and working with Kisvomai. And one of the things that you see recurring are references to farm, land, crops, yield, harvest, sale, market, shares, town.
Yeah. Okay.
And ship.
Okay. Damn, I was hoping for like the big bad evil name or something like that.
So when I say crop, you don't recognize the words for the specific kinds of crops because Kisvomai doesn't cultivate these crops on her land. So
Right.
whatever crops are being referenced in this journal is not a crop that Kisvomai has on her land. It doesn't seem like a food crop to you, like a corn, wheat, any of the vegetable family. It doesn't seem like any of the crop rotations that she has in place.
Okay.
Soybeans, flax. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just trying to think of like any type of crop. But so yeah, it's not any crop that she has. So that's why you don't recognize the specific reference. But those other terms are seen occasionally. And I should say that these terms that you recognize are in the earlier parts of the journal. Like within the first 10 pages of the journal is where you see these repeating terms that you're able to recognize. The latter part of the journal has no references to these things.
So it kind of changes the script, not really talking about that stuff anymore.
Yes, it would seem that stuff is not kind of the subject matter of the latter half of the journal.
Okay.
I can't wait for you guys to discover this adventure. It's so exciting. All right. So, but you all will have to wait. All you people at home will have to wait for season 2 of High Adventure because this is some deep, long game level stuff. So
deep lore.
Back to the cave. You guys are in that kind of secret back inner mountain entrance to the White Fur Lair, and you have taken an opportunity to rest. Shao, you wanted to go recover your bow.
That's
and that
correct.
Rhymes. So, Shao, to recover your bow, I shall inflict upon you a necessary roll, wherein you will roll a stealth roll.
Okay.
Even though you're pretty sure that you've killed everything in between where you are and where you want to go, just make me that stealth roll.
That's a 17.
Sufficient. You kind of climb up, you make your move, very smoothly. You've got the ever so slightly burning ember of a torch, just so you could see right in front of you, kind of have it covered, and you make your way through.
He still has dark vision. It's 8 hours.
Oh, it's 8 hours. That's right. No torch needed. You just ninja through. You find your bow. It seems to be intact. Make a perception check.
4.
You find your bow. It seems to be intact. So you get your bow, and wasting no time, you get back to your brothers, and about an hour total, goes by. You guys rest up. Brother Cade, you do anything in terms of that other than just resting and bandaging wounds, or?
I'm just as I'm looking through the little book or whatever, and I'm just keeping an ear out for anything or smelling anything besides the dump that we're by.
Go ahead and make another perception check.
That's 15 plus 7, 22.
only the prevalent smell of effectively the garbage pit that you guys are near in the back of the cave. That's the only thing that you sense smell-wise, or for that matter, hear.
Okay.
You are quite a bit of a ways away from any openings. Shao, I will give you this, even though you failed your perception check, but when you went to get your bow, you were close enough to fresh air to be able to hear that it is still raining, though not, you don't hear like the cracks of thunder. Like the torrential downpour that was happening before seems to have turned into just like a normal, tropical rain. Brother Shao, what are you doing as this during this short rest time?
Yeah, well, I was drinking to begin with when I got my rest opportunity, and then I'm fixing my wraps around my hands and just making sure I'm at the ready when the brothers are ready to go.
Okay, I'm going to have you make a perception check as well.
Absolutely. Perception. 17.
It seems to you, and this is towards the end of the short rest, it seems to you that there are no sounds, no changes in smell, no changes in like the draft of air that moves through this winding cave system. But you do notice that as you're kind of in that secret space, that again, you see actual veins of exposed metals in the walls of this cave system. Some of them seem to be iron, but you do see another small deposit of silver as well. So the three of you have recuperated, rested, and you find yourselves still in the cave. What would you like to do?
Are we ready to go? Is everybody
I'm ready, brother. Let's finish this.
Does my bow look okay, brothers? For some reason, it seems okay to me, but I'm not sure.
I look
Twang.
at it? Yeah.
Looks fine to me.
It seems to be intact. It does not seem to be damaged or sabotaged in any way.
Except for that magical explosive rune on the bottom.
Make an Arcana check. No, I'm just kidding.
I was about to.
Natural 20! But I don't have no magical
like,
skill.
Dang!
Just for kicks.
And that
That
ends
was a
the
pretty good
entire
one.
show of High Attention.
It's a cave in. It's a
That
cave
was a
in.
14. I rolled a 14 on that.
No, the bow is literally just as you had it. It is neither sabotage nor malfunctioning. It seems like it is just fine.
Sweet. Shall we, brothers?
Shell.
Let's continue.
Same rotation. Cho front. You back.
Yes.
I'm all the way in behind.
Yeah.
Covering the rear.
So,
We want
Are
to head
you-
back
are
to
you-
that.
yeah, tell me what you're doing and where you're going more
I
specifically.
think, correct me if I'm wrong, brothers, we want to head back to where we were hitting that close to the entrance where it had another path that we didn't go down, right?
Yep.
And make our way down there.
I think that's
Or
where we
should-
stopped, and then we came back for the short rest.
Okay, so I want to do that, but I want to, because from that other fork, it's not too far from the entrance, right?
Correct.
Should we make sure that there's no one in the sleeping quarters since we've taken our rest? Maybe someone
Well, we
else?
can check as we're going through because we're going to
Yeah.
pass by.
We
But what I
still
want
need
to do is when we get to that fork, I want to look outside real quick just to kind of get a scan.
So I need to know two things. Number one, is everyone still under the blessing of dark vision?
Yes, me and Cho are, and
Okay, so who's leading Shao?
probably
Cade.
me because because Cho is in the front.
Okay, number two, what's the marching order? So if Cho's in the front,
Then me.
okay,
then
and then you're
Shao.
leading Shao. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's make stealth checks first because I'm assuming that you're not just tra-la-la
Yeah.
sticking up there.
Ooh, not bad.
22.
Stealth is a 19.
Okay. Shao?
I got a 15.
Oh, fine. You guys being familiar with the cave system now, having scouted it out, you kind of know where to step so you're not kicking up rocks or, snapping on bones or anything. You get through the dump, the garbage, fungi dump area. You get into the sleeping chamber number 1. Everything that was dead is still dead where you left it, and there's no new creatures. You get through the squeeze into the next chamber. You kind of navigate along similar routes, avoiding noisy rocks and that kind of thing. You get back to the domed, larger size entrance. You go down the tunnel and you get to the front of the split. Make a perception check again.
Okay.
13.
Weak. 10.
Okay. You hear the sound of the rain outside.
Mm-hmm.
And you feel like if you go down, continue, that you'll get out again.
Yeah.
And coming from the split tunnel that you haven't explored yet,
yeah,
you don't hear anything.
Yeah, I want to go to the cave entrance to the outside and look.
Okay, so you guys go all the way up to the front, to the cave entrance, and as you get there,
quick.
you see some light. But remember, because it's a storm, you don't have as much moonlight.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cloud cover, but you do see some light after having been in the pitch dark for that long. You
Scanning.
get to the front, you kind of scan out. You do not see any fires lit or anything out, like looking down from the mountain where you are. You don't see any evidence of any activity or anything of your camp.
I'll look up.
You don't see any figures above or silhouetted by the moon.
Mm-hmm. All right, that's all I want to do, is a quick check.
Okay.
And, head back to the other tunnel.
Okay. You go to the other tunnel. Cho, you're up front, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the other tunnel is definitely big enough for any of the creatures to go down. It is consistent in terms of like that musky animal smell that they have. So it smells like a place maybe where they live or where they pass through. So it looks like this tunnel goes into the mountain but veers away from the other tunnel. So it's kind of a separate side, almost like another avenue of the space within this mountain. It also looks like a natural cave system as opposed to the meticulously carved walls of the mine tunnel that you had once seen that is now since been covered and collapsed. Go ahead and make perception checks, I guess, since you...
18.
So you...
30-20.
Okay, so you're seeing the details with dark vision isn't... You could tell that there are deposits of some kind in the walls.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's dark vision, you don't have a torch. You can't really tell if it's iron or silver or copper or whatever it is. Like, it looks like there's some more, metallic kind of natural veins in these tunnels. This tunnel seems to go for about 60 feet before it makes a very sharp turn to the right.
Okay, before I get to the right turn, I will very carefully check for traps, check for anything, listen before I peer around the corner.
Yeah.
Make me an investigation roll.
Ooh.
I'm always listening as well.
That's an 18.
All right. It's a good thing that you said that. because in fact, as you're about 10 feet away from the curve, you see a piece of natural twine. I mean, literally, it looks like vines that have been tightly wound to create a rope, stretching across about 8 inches off the ground from one side of the cave tunnel to the other. And each one of them goes up. One of them goes about 3 feet up. The other one goes about 5 feet up to these very sharpened, like wooden posts carved from, like a sizable tree branch. And there are wooden spikes on each, like every 5 inches on this post. And it looks like if you had tripped this, both of the posts would have basically sliced and diced into you from low and high.
Nice. Should we disarm it or keep it up for the creatures?
I'm sure they're aware of it, so
might
as well disarm it.
Obviously, brother, but I'm saying we can trip it.
I will say this. I will say this. Now that you have found it successfully with your investigation roll, you could just say to your brothers, like, step over this, and no one needs to roll. Okay.
Yeah.
Or you could try to disarm it, which would basically mean like a thieves' tools check, disarm traps, which is, you get your proficiency and your dex bonus added onto it.
Yep.
So what do you want to do? Just walk over it or disarm it?
What do you think, brothers? I can disarm it if you like, or we can use it to our advantage later.
Walk over it. We could trip it later.
Okay. So you guys, you kind of guide your brothers over this, and everybody makes it over. And then you creep, as you said, kind of creep up and listen around the corner. And you actually hear, like kind of a mix of like low growl with sort of a grunting speech pattern. So it kind of sounds like a and then you hear like another one that's like
So with my proficiency in languages, can I decipher if there's more than two, or if there's just...
Yes, you got, all three of you can tell that it sounds like 2 to 3 different distinct voices.
So I tell the brothers, give them the signals. There's some shit up here. And then move in a little bit closer. See if I can get a better idea.
Okay.
Stealthily.
Okay. Go ahead and stealth up.
Oh, okay. Natural 20 plus 7.
Oh, damn. Let's go. All right. They don't know you're there. You stealth up around the corner, and with your magical dark vision blessing that your brother gave to you, you look around the corner and you see that the tunnel that curves sharply seems to go about 60 feet down, and there are niches along this tunnel. There's 2 on each side, so they're spaced out pretty well. These seem like maybe they kind of similar to the sleeping niches that you guys had seen in the other side. But you see 2 white furs, one two on one side and then a third on the other side. So it looks like they're kind of waiting in these niches. They don't see you.
How
so
close
2 of them are on the left side, 1 of them's on the right side as you're looking down the hall.
So they're just basically within the hallway facing each other on opposite sides of the hallway?
Yeah, like sitting in these niches.
Okay.
Like kind of looking at each other, presumably communicating or talking with each other. not looking in your direction, but just kind of like talking to each other. So you're kind of peeking around. You see these niches, 2 on each side, and then the hallway continues about 60 feet down and then does a sharp turn left.
Okay, we're about to engage, brothers. But first, I want to try something. As I feel around I can see probably, but are there loose pebbles, stones on the ground?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to pick some up, just enough to use as distraction, maybe 3, but take 1 at a time. And I'm going to throw it down the hallway as far as I can past the creatures.
Okay.
To kind of draw their attention down the hallway, away from us.
I like that. I'm going to say that's you're basically just going to make effectively like an attack roll, so you can add your dex bonus.
Okay. 17.
Yeah, so you just you rifle a rock way down past them, and it lands past them. And when it lands and skitters, you see all 3 of them kind of look in that direction. And one of them's like, and it stands up from its position. And when it stands up from its squatting position, you're like, it's a big one. Like, this looks like one of the ones that you saw on the mountain. And you see it kind of stand up from its position. The other 2 stand up, but they're looking not where you are, but towards where the rock was. And their kind of claws are out, and you see them kind of like moving slowly towards where the rock was.
I'd like to coordinate a group. How do we fit side by side in this hallway?
10 feet wide. Hallway is
Okay.
10 feet wide.
Okay.
15 feet tall.
Okay. So, brothers, I want to move in for sneak attack, assassinate move, but I think that we should attack 2 at a time.
Okay.
So
you can't coordinate that now because well, you could, but I'm going to tell you that you'll miss your sneak attack option. So if you want the sneak attack, you have to move.
I have to go now. Okay.
Yep.
So I'm going to attack now.
So you can move your normal move of 30 with stealth to get to one of the guys in the back who's not facing you.
Okay.
Make your attack roll, and then you still have a bonus action.
Okay. So 19.
You have advantage, remember. So roll it anyway,
right.
just in case you roll in that.
8.
Okay. So the 19. All right. So your damage is the full sneak attack damage. So
The crit.
what's your weapon?
It's a crit on the assassinate, isn't it? That's what we were doing last session.
Yeah.
If he assassinates before they take a turn, it's a crit.
If I attack before they see me, it's critical.
Oh yeah, you're right. Because you literally are an assassin.
I am literally an assassin.
In the throat. Get him in the throat.
So
brother.
what's your weapon type? What weapon do you have?
I'm using my sword. You think I should use the bow? Really? I thought we
You blew that.
Yeah.
Up to you.
So you're gonna have, what's your sword? The short sword?
It's the short sword that we picked up in the village.
Okay, so you have
He's
6 plus what's your dex?
Plus 3. Oh, my dex is 16.
Okay, so 9. Roll a d6.
5.
Okay, so that's 14. Now roll your what is it? 3d6 for your sneak attack damage.
3d6, yeah.
Good God! All right, go ahead.
Yeah.
13.
13 plus 18 is 31. So 31 and 14 is 45.
45.
So you jack this dude in the back, and he's like, I'm like, your blade is in his body, and he screams out in pain. Now everyone has to roll initiative.
The Zen send their regards.
Yo, this die is gotta go, bro.
All right, Shao,
Yeah.
Cho, and Cade, where are you at?
6.
19.
I'm at 15.
Nice.
So after
So it's
I
kind of
do
an
my
it's sort of an even spread, actually, because
What are there, wombats in here? Some Mylock.
No, just an undead army that we're about to run into after these guys.
Jeez, I don't even want to talk about zombies right now. I'm still broken up over that game, man.
I know you're so traumatized.
Okay, so Cade.
Yes.
Your brother just jacked one of these things up, and it is wounded heavily.
Mm-hmm.
It took a lot of damage.
Yes.
A lot.
Yes.
So, however, its two friends are now turning because they've heard this shriek of pain. But you are able to act. So you are 30 feet away from.
Wait, there's three?
Yeah, there's three.
Oh, shit. I thought there was two.
You're 30 feet away from the one that was closest to you guys, basically, that your brother just stabbed. The next one up from that is 40 feet, and then one after that is 50 feet.
Okay.
So their respective distance between you and Shao is 30, 40, 50.
30, 40, 50. Okay, I'm going to start weaving my hands, and I do conjure animals. And I got a range of 60 feet on this. So if possible, I'd like to set, I think it's 8, right? With the wolves.
4 and 4.
Yeah, I think it's 8. Yes, 8 beasts of challenge rating quarter or lower. Yeah, I want to do 4 in between the first set and then 4 on the other side, and tell them to just attack in pairs.
What are you summoning? Wolves?
Yes.
Okay. So 4 and 4. So you got 8. Are you splitting these up against each of the 3 white furs? Is that your ambition here?
Yeah, so I want the first 4 that's in between the first and second one to attack the middle one, and then the other 4 attack the back one, and then we're going to take the front one.
Okay, so the one's closest to you isn't going to be attacked by the wolves. All right, so wolves get pack tactics. So that's a hit. That's a hit.
Let's see, roll initiative for them as a group, which has its own turns.
That's a hit. I'm already rolling for them.
Okay, gotcha.
They are on your initiative right now.
Okay.
So 4 hits. 9.
And I think they get the same one. I think they get the knockdown. Do they?
16.
Yeah, they get the knockdown feature if they don't succeed on the strength saving throw of 11.
Okay.
11.
And then 13. Oh, all right. Let me make that. So damage so far. Strength saving throw is made.
Okay.
Strength saving throw for the second guy made. Okay.
Yeah, that's easy.
All right. You are done. This brings us to white fur number 1, who is going to attack your wolves. Hit. How many hit points does a wolf have?
11.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
One claw.
Armor
You're out of there, buddy.
13.
So one of them's dead.
Damn.
Poor baby.
The other one takes 19
Serving
and it's
their
dead.
purpose.
So 2 of your 8 are dead.
Mm-hmm.
But that keeps him busy and keeps him from killing you guys. Shao, you're up.
Okay. I wanted to do this before all this stuff happened, but I need to light up a torch. I can't see anything. So
I'll say that's fine. I'll say that if before Cho picked up the rock, let's say we'll retcon it that he was going to pick up the rock and tell you like I'm going to distract them and go in and assassinate. And you're like, hold on, and you quietly lit up your torch. Okay. And the minute you lit up your torch, he threw the rock and ran in. So you have a torch. Now you can act.
So do I get advantage on any of these guys? I mean, on the first one at all for hitting him? So I have to travel to him and then attack, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'll go ahead and engage the first one. I think the one that Cho hit, right?
Yes.
Does he get advantage from flanking if the wolves are flanking with him?
The wolves
No,
are
the
on
one
the
that
other
Show,
two.
yeah, the wolves are on the other two. So the one that
Okay,
Show
yeah.
hit, what's your movement
50.
50 million?
50.
as a 5th level monk?
Yeah, my walking speed is 50 feet. Speed.
Jeez, that's awesome.
That's without my step to the wind. So I can reach any of them. That's why I was asking. So if, because you said that the first one that Show hit
No,
was engaged.
You're not at 50. You're at 40. You get a plus 10 to your movement speed. So 30 is your standard, and you get 10. Right?
No,
Unarmored movement gives you a plus 10 to your move at 5th level. So, but that's still enough to get to him and around.
Okay.
So you can attack with advantage.
Okay. All right. First, here we go. 2 attacks. Yeah, boy.
At advantage.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm gonna do this. Okay, a 19 on the first one.
Yep. That's hits.
And 15 on the second one.
That hits.
And I do a stunning strike.
Okay.
So I'm gonna burn the key on that one.
And his roll is a nat 20. Not joking.
Oh my
I wish I could share the screen and not the entire browser. Just there probably is a way to do this, but I'm too dumb. But
Okay. Well, that just kind of messes it up.
But you did how much damage?
Doing it, tallying it up right now, and then as my bonus action, I get my third one.
You get 2 if you're going to use a key point.
No, see, that's the thing. That's why I was kind of trying to time this up, because if I got stunning strike and he basically rolled a nat 20, so that does not give him stunned, right? So I'm just going to go to my third attack.
Okay.
Okay, and that's a 15 for the second bonus one. So, and that one also is, I got a total of 15 points.
Okay. All righty then. Then we are at white for number 2. Attacking wolves. 19 to hit. Wolf takes 14 damage, dead. Second attack.
They're like fleas off the back of the Yeti's
21 to
back.
hit. Wolf takes 14 damage, dead.
Dead.
Okay, but that keeps him busy. Shao, back to you.
Brother Shao, can you flank me so I can try to kill this wounded?
He is
beast?
already flanking you, so you
yeah.
get your. This will give you your sneak attack damage.
All right, bet. 20 to hit.
Yep.
Eight on the 3d6, or do I do the d8 first?
Doesn't matter. So 8, and then do the d8.
6.
So that's 14 plus your dex is 17, plus 8 is 25, plus 18 is 33, 43. Good Lord. 43 on top of 60.
I'm so glad you're on the math, bro. I'm
That's 103.
We're at 103. He is very angry and wounded. He is going to attack now.
Jesus.
He is at the bottom of the order. So that's a nat 20 on one of his attacks.
Thank God for the wolves.
And a 17 on the other. So 1, 2 is on Shao, 3, 4 is on Shao.
And I'm gonna use my
Shao.
uncanny dodge.
Uncanny
Shao.
dodge, huh?
Shao, you have been hit by the nat 20. And then what's your Shao, what's your armor class?
15.
Yeah, he hits you. So I'm going to do the nat 20 first.
Can I use uncanny dodge?
Do you have uncanny dodge?
I think I do, don't I?
No.
I don't think
No,
No,
it's a
I
rogue
don't. I
thing.
don't. No, that's a rogue thingy. Never mind.
So
But
you are going to take a painful amount of damage.
Yeah, I can see that.
So 24, 32, 37, 41 hit points of damage.
Ow!
Yeah. Can I? Okay, so let me. So Could I have spent a key point on that and then had to be patient defense, and that would help me out here a lot? Because
can you spend more than one key point per round?
Yeah, I can spend all of them at once. Yeah, I can spend all of them at once if I needed to.
Okay.
As a bonus, yeah. So yeah, a patient defense. You can spend one key point and take a dodge action as a bonus action on your
Oh, you used your bonus action already.
On my turn. Okay, never mind. I'm out.
All right, so he knocks you unconscious.
I'm out.
You're
You see
down.
your brother.
Yeah.
You see your brother up against the wall and slumped. Shao, you take this is a normal hit, and you take 18. You're muted. Uncanny dodge. So you're gonna take 9.
9. Fuck.
Okay, so top of the order.
Don't worry.
Finish this one. Finish him.
Wild shape into direwolf, and I go for the kill.
Okay, direwolf. You
Yes.
start moving through. Like I'm assuming that you run wild
Yes.
shape, turn into the direwolf, and pounce onto this
Yes.
white fur.
Yep.
Go ahead and make your attack.
Do I get pack tactics?
Yes, because Shao is on the other side of him.
Got it. That's a plus 5, 19. So that's 2d6 plus 3.
Unless you roll horrifically bad, you're gonna kill him.
Yeah, that's 12.
That is literally. You jump, you pounce. So you kill him. How does this happen? You're a massive fucking wolf. You
Yeah.
do this like Air Jordan level jump of clearing like 10 feet in the air, and Shao, from your perspective, you see from the flickering torchlight that is on the ground next to your fallen brother Shao, you see this massive monstrous silhouette and this growl jump through the air and land on the white fur.
Just rips his throat out.
Yes.
But because you're going from the back, you rip the back of his neck off, and
Yeah.
the white fur's head just rolls forward. Blood cascades down over its white fur and all over Cho. You're just painted in blood. As there's a massive tuft of flesh and fur in the maw of your brother's direwolf form. Which brings us to so that white fur is dead.
As I soak in the blood of the fallen beast, I recall their language. And I yell at the other beasts.
You say some awesome phrase that makes no sense whatever. But they're terrified. However, white fur number 1 now is deciding to move forward, and he is going to Ginsu his way through some more wolves. That's a hit. That one is actually a miss. The hit does 20 hit points, so that's dead. So he's done. This brings us to Shao. Make a death save.
Yeah. So it's just a 20-sided dice on that one?
Yep.
Rolling that 20, bud.
No, 16.
Okay,
That's still good.
you mark 1 save. This brings us to white fur number 2, who is going to rush up to Cho. I'm assuming that you're going to be uncanny dodging.
Always.
Because that 27 is definitely a hit.
Golly.
For 15 hit points of damage. So you will take 7. And it is your turn, Cho. So you are this one that just swiped its claws across your back as you were marveling at your brother's handiwork. It's now within range of you.
Okay, so I want to kind of talk about something in a meta way that I'm not sure how the mechanics would work on something like this.
Please do.
Okay, so what I want to do is I want to relay to the brothers. I want Cade to get Shao back to the tripwires.
Yeah.
Pull him back to the tripwires. And I want to attack this guy, but in a way that I'm kind of egging him on so he'll chase me to the tripwire.
Oh.
Yeah. Attack and disengage.
Yeah, attack, then disengage, or use that evasive maneuver.
So that would be cool, but uncanny dodge.
Right.
You don't have unlimited bonus actions.
I see.
Well, uncanny dodge is a reaction. It's not
right.
a bonus action.
As it's a let me just
it's a reaction.
Check what that uses. Yes.
Yeah, he can do it every time.
So you could, in theory, so let me think about this. You uncanny dodged. You still have a regular move, a regular action, and your bonus action. Yeah, so you could attack, disengage, bonus action, and then move.
Okay, let's make it happen.
Now you don't get advantage on this. This is just a straight roll.
Right, just straight up. Plus 3. 17.
That's a hit. What's the damage?
11.
All right. He seems to be mildly aggravated with you.
Right. That's like I just slapped him in the face and ran.
You disengage. So you're like, do your slice. You jump back, and then you're like, I want you to give me the flavor. Yeah. So
okay.
how do you goad him on?
I come in. I still am drenched in the blood of his brethren.
Yeah.
I slice at him. I step back out of his claw range. Come and get me. And then I run.
Okay. You make it 30 feet, so now you get to the turn. You don't get to the tripwire, but you get to the turn. Okay, so top of the order, Cade, you're up. You see what your brother has done. And you see that you have no wolves left.
Yeah.
Of your summoned pack.
I grab Shao in direwolf form, and I don't know if it's possible. I try to like toss him on my back, and then start heading towards the.
So you could toss him on your back, but because he's unconscious, you wouldn't hold on. So the best move that you could do is probably
hold him.
Yeah. So he's wearing Shao's. Shao doesn't have armor, but he has clothes.
Yeah.
So you could kind of grab him by his gi and grab him in your mouth, and so you've got him. He's dangling along.
I could grab him like a mother wolf and not hurt him. I thought.
Yeah. So you grab him and you start moving.
Mm-hmm. Shouldn't be too hard. 17 strength.
Okay, I am going to say this may be unimportant or it might be important. His sword is on the ground and the torch is on the ground, right?
Yeah.
So you grab him, and I will say you can easily, with your movement, you can easily clear the just jump over the tripwire. So you actually run past Brother Cho.
Yeah.
And you clear the tripwire.
Okay.
As long as that's what your focus is. So this brings us to wait for number 1. Ooga! And you hear this banging noise. Something wooden is banging into something else, and it sounds like not like a drum with a skin stretched over it, but almost like if he was hitting a wooden barrel with a club, and the barrel is making a loud, kind of taiko drum sort of like bass sound, like doo, 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 doo. And he's like, this brings us to Shao. Make another death save.
Muted.
Over 10.
You're still muted.
13.
Okay. All right.
I kept pushing it wouldn't shut off.
That's 2. So you're good. Wait for number 2 is going to take the bait. He starts hauling ass after Cho. Yeah. And he's running down the hallway, and he's mad, and he's frothing, and his claws are out. He runs to the hallway and swipes at Cho. 25 to hit.
Uncanny.
Okay, that uncanny is you're gonna have to uncanny. Oh yeah, this is a new round. I was gonna say you can't uncanny twice, but this is actually a new round. So that's 20 damage, so you take 10.
Okay.
And then where are you at with hit points?
I am at 9.
Okay. His second attack is also I rolled an 18. He hits.
Jesus.
And you will take 19 damage. So you are unconscious.
Wow.
But
Cade's in it.
But you are like 15 feet away from your brother. So top of the order, Cade, you hear the lumbering sound of White Fur number 2 who came around the corner, and you heard and you hear your brother like and like you see him flop up against the wall, blood, like his flesh raked, and this blood is not the blood of the fallen White Fur, it's his blood, and he is unconscious and up against the wall. Your brother Shao is still unconscious in your mouth, and you are on the other side of the tripwire.
Drop Shao.
Okay.
Okay, I'm probably gonna get hit, but I don't care. I'm gonna grab Cho and then jump back over the wire.
Okay, I want you to make a Direwolf athletics check, and then I get an attack of opportunity on you.
18 plus 19.
Okay, so you jump, you kind of like drop Cho into a safe point about 10 feet away from the tripwire. You turn, lunge, like jump down, grab Cho in your mouth, turn and lunge back over. And when you're evading, he swipes at you.
Armor class 13.
And he'll hit with a 16.
Okay.
So you'll take 18 hit points.
Okay, I'm still in wolf form.
Okay. So you make it over the tripwire. Which brings us to White Fur number 1, who is sounding the alarm. Shao, time for a third death save.
Oh, 19.
Okay. You, as if awakening from a very weird dream, you can't see anything. It's pitch black. There's all this ruckus of sound. You hear the sounds of different snarling animals, and you are just in a world of pain. And you can you're alert, but you're so groggy and out of it. And your whole body is stinging from where the claws carved through your flesh. But you are conscious. White Fur number 2. How do I adjudicate this? So he is angry. He's going to chase down you guys. I'm going to make a... I'm going to do this because I want it to be completely transparent and fair. So I'm going to do this. He's going to make a saving throw. There, see,
Yeah.
That's exactly why I did the share screen, because I didn't want there to be any question about whether or not this would be legit. So he in his rage of chasing the brothers Zhen just forgets about the tripwire system, runs through and triggers the tripwire. But you see both of these wooden, branches, spiked wooden branches, swing out at what would be like his shins and his stomach, because he's taller than you guys. And he is going to take an enormous amount of pain.
Eviscerated.
Yes.
Wait, this is number 2?
28 hit points of damage. Yeah, this is the same one that you've been fighting. So he is now 28, 41, 50. 52. And he's stuck. He's caught on it. And you can see he screams in pain. as both of the spiked logs swing out and just trap him in this pungy spike snare that you guys are on the other side of. All right, Cho, you need to make a death save.
16.
Okay, one success. Top of the order, Cade. This thing is furious. It's trapped, but you are not a dummy, and you realize that it probably has the strength and fortitude to rip itself free, taking further damage, but still kill you.
How messed up does it look? Like on death's door?
About halfway. No. You guys have only done 52 to this one.
Yeah, he's got like 100 left.
More than that, 70 left.
Do I see that my elder brother is conscious?
Conscious? Yes.
So with Cho in my mouth, however far it is, I get over to him and I just growl and nudge him forward. And
okay, stop speaking. Shao, you are blind. You hear a gentle nudge up against you. And it doesn't feel like a white fur. It feels like a large wolf. And strangely, you also feel like a loose arm just like slap up against you.
I reach out and
you feel your little brother, you feel your younger brother Cho's hair matted with blood. So you feel your brother, and it feels like some animal's carrying your brother. What do you do? And the animal nudges you gently.
I grab Cho, or I grab portions of him and pull him closer to me.
Okay.
And then see if I can light off. I don't know if I still have.
You have nothing. You have no sword.
Did that torch go out? Or is it still on the other side?
No, but it's around the corner.
Okay.
40 feet away, 50 feet away.
Okay.
And you also hear like a terrifying amount of screeching and growling and like mechanical sounds mashing back and forth.
Okay, so I think I'm gonna reach out and see if I can feel this animal that just dropped.
The animal doesn't bite you.
Okay, so then I grab Cho and then see if I can maneuver myself onto Cade or the dire wolf.
You do.
Okay.
So Cade, you feel your very weak and wounded brother reach up, pulling on your fur and kind of guiding himself blindly, but he kind of hangs himself over you. So you've got one brother in your jaws and the other one's hanging onto you.
Start hauling ass out.
Okay. You're gonna make an athletics check, Cade.
Yes.
Shao, you're gonna make a animal handling check.
Animal.
16 on the athletics.
Oh, I got an 18.
Yeah, I mean it's a wisdom-based thing. You should be okay with that.
Yeah.
All right, so you're able to hold on to a dire wolf while you're only barely alive. This brings us to Brother Cho, who has to make another
death save number 2. 15.
Okay.
Good.
So direwolf movement is pretty significant. You make it down the long stretch to the curve. Now you could go back into the colony, or you could go out the cave and out to outside. What do you do, Cade? Top of the order.
Back to the dump. I
Okay.
can't drag both these guys down the mountain with me. In
Okay.
wolf form.
So you go back through the colony. You start going back through the colony. I'm going to make a athletics check to see if he can tear himself away from the trap, which he does, but he is going to take an additional 3d6 damage. Ooh.
Yeah.
10 more. So he, well, actually now you're out of range. So there are things happening. I'm assuming that you're not like trying to be stealthy. You're just getting the hell out, right? You go through, you don't see or smell or sense any differences in this stretch that has become familiar to you. You make your way to the dump. You make your way through the dump, through the bones and all the refuse, and you get down to the little secret drop point. I need Cho to make another death save.
Okay.
12.
Okay. You are now barely alive, but
That
conscious.
worked. Okay.
Yeah, so I drop out of direwolf form when we get back, and I cast healing word on Shao.
Healing word or cure wound?
Healing word.
Okay.
Ooh, how does that work? I've never seen that one before.
I did it in the very first episode. We were all together. Why did I
Mhm.
close my character sheet? It's 1d4 anyway. So what's my plus? What's my plus? 4 plus 4. So you get 6 hit points.
So Cho gets 6.
Yes.
Okay. You guys, Cho and Shao are just barely alive, right?
Yeah.
You find yourselves in that little niche. You crawl through, and you're kind of in the back secret entrance area again. What do you want to do?
That could have went better, brothers.
Mm.
Could've
You
went
all
way
right?
Thanks to your healing touch, I will live.
I didn't even see him swinging. For one second, I see brother there, and the next second, lights out.
I didn't think he would reach me when I tried to lure him to the trap. Didn't think that through.
I'm about tapped out, brothers.
These creatures are definitely not to be messed with.
Yes, they are formidable.
Make perception checks.
15.
17.
10.
You guys hear you hear what sounds like a bell, but far away, maybe by the entrance of the cave. But it sounds like a bell, not like a like something that you would hear in town.
Mm-hmm.
It's like ding, 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 ding.
Here's where we find out how many there actually are.
Ding, 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 ding,
So
ding,
bad.
ding, ding, ding.
We got to retreat.
We can
I
stay
think.
in this little. They can't get in here. We can stay in this
Ding,
little
ding,
cubby
I
hole,
know.
and I can shoot them.
Ding, 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 ding.
I can stay right here with long range. And as they
dude,
come in,
I'm tapped out of magic, and I got 1 wild shape left.
and I got 6 hit points, but they can't touch us.
Well,
Unless they change.
The ringing stops,
Shit.
and about 2 minutes later, it starts up again. Ding, 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 ding.
Go ahead.
Can I question that ringing? How many rings from the first one, and how many rings on the second one? Are they the same amount?
Yes.
So let's say 10 and 10, or whatever.
Yep.
Okay. So it's repetitive. Okay.
I'll stand and fight with you, brothers, but I think we should retreat.
We can go back to the small entrance, back up there.
Yeah.
Isn't that where we are already?
No.
No, he's talking about going all the way
back up.
Yeah.
And then we get exposed to the outside elements, which is basically their territory again. But they might not be expecting us to be able to go all the way up.
Probably not. We just got to get out.
Should we? I think we should let's just go all the way up, and then just maybe choke and stealth and look outside to see if there's any of these things up at the very top. Because then we can sneak. Then we can sneak back down the mountain if we need to do that. Because I'm at 1 hit point.
Yeah. It'd probably be better for me to. It'd be better for me to go out of the 3-foot entrance and look, because I'm still at full.
Yeah, and
that way you guys don't get one-shotted.
Okay. Whichever way. Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah.
So we'll head back up, Bill.
This is a lengthy process.
Yes.
Just to be clear, Cho, you have 6 hit points?
Correct.
Cade, you have how many hit points?
50.
And Shao, you have 1 hit point?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's what you get when you come back from a saving throw, right? 1. I think that's.
Yeah, when you come back from unconscious like that.
Okay. You guys are
so I have
carefully
7
making your
then?
way. Carefully making your way up. You remember that there was a trap that you avoid. You get out to the small crevice tunnel. Remember how you had to crawl on your hands and knees? And you see up ahead the crevice. And remember that this was like on the other side of the mountain and at the top. When you get out to the crevice, you're carefully, I'm assuming, Cade, you're on point. You listen, you look, there are no white furs. You kind of look out the ledge, right? And remember that sharp expanse, you're way up high now. You look up above you, you look down, left, right, you don't see any white furs. But you hear a bell ringing, and you kind of figure it's down by the entrance, the mid-level white fur cave entrance that you guys were not too far from.
Yeah.
That same bell.
I signal to my brothers that it's clear for the moment. And then I get out on the ledge.
Okay. Do you guys just stay at the upper level on the ledge? Do you want to descend? What do you want to do?
Well, what do you think, brothers? Should we go back to camp or?
You feel like if you kind of at least go around the ledge, you might be able to see down to what is going on.
Yeah, we want to check.
Yeah, I want to see this.
Okay.
I want to see who's ringing the bell.
What have we stirred up?
Okay. You kind of circle around the ledge and you look down and you actually see a ring of torches lit just outside of the cave entrance. And you see a group of men. Looks like maybe your men, about 10 of them. And they are all on their knees. And there are a group of 14 large adult white furs all around them. They have them completely surrounded. And at the entrance of the cave, you see the pale white-haired man, once again cloaked in a blanket, but this time he has like a wooden staff and there's like a hook and a bell on it, and he's going ding 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 ding.
Sounds like he's summoning us. It sounds like he's giving us a call to
make a perception check, because through the rain it's a little bit difficult to see exactly who's down there.
Oh yes, 21.
Natural 20.
Damn you in your 20s.
It's only my second one.
So you see among the who you assume to be the captured men, it seems like most of them are your men, and you also see Mwangozo. And they are all roughly, very roughly tied, each one of them neck to neck with rope and surrounded by white furs. And they do not look healthy. Like, they don't look like they just gave up. Like, you could see even through the rain with your high perception roll, like they're bloodied and bruised. Like and none of them are armed. You don't see any weapons on them or anything.
Well, that just goes to tell us that they did the ones that we didn't see. They went out to the camp.
Yeah.
Well, now we're in a pickle because I mean, what do you do? I mean, do you try to assassinate this white guy, white-haired guy, and just go all out?
Surrounded by that many beasts.
Yeah, 14.
There's no way we're gonna fight through them.
Yeah, so the question is, how do we kill them and save our people? And I
Ding,
don't know.
ding, 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 ding.
We should start moving down at least.
Do I have how far are we from them feet-wise?
Oh, we're pretty far, dude. We're all the way
high.
up.
I know, we're about 200 feet, 300 feet.
No, more, because we were 300 up.
So you are, from where they are, you're about 200 feet up and probably 100 feet around. I mean, you are peeking over a ledge and they are down, way down the mountain from where you are.
What's the range on longbow?
You can hit them.
Let's get a little closer, though, so I can be more accurate.
Well, that's if, 14 white furs, everybody tied up. You're at 6-7 health. I'm at 1 health. I mean,
what are we going to do? We have to get past them to get down the hill, or we have to go back into the cavern.
We pass them and then do what?
We could try and talk. We haven't actually tried that one time.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean when I said let's try to talk to him 20 episodes ago?
Yeah, but we didn't do it this time.
No, let's kill him.
I mean, we're in that position though at the moment, so it's
we're not in any position. We killed one of their younglings. They're not going to fucking listen to what we have to say. They probably don't even understand what we say.
No, but the white-haired,
maybe about that. Yeah, the white-haired.
The white-haired dude.
Here's a question: did Shao lose dark vision when he went unconscious? I think he did.
I don't know how that works, honestly.
I don't either.
Let's see, you touch a willing creature
while I'm looking that up.
See in the dark.
Now,
for the duration. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say that the spell duration. But you would still have dark vision. But dark vision is only 60 feet, so your ability to see the detail is entirely dependent on the fact that they have a ring of torches.
Yes.
Now, you guys are fully aware that at no point in time in any of their living colony have you seen the white furs have a need for torches.
Right.
So you may infer that they have laid these torches out on purpose so that people can see what's on this area.
Yeah.
The torches provide sufficient illumination for you to see the number of white furs, which they're not trying to hide, and the number of captured comrades of yours, including Mongozo.
Yeah, which is about all of them.
We gotta try. I think. What do you guys think?
Yeah, get within earshot and see if we can talk to the white hair guy.
Well, okay, so bad idea, of course, but I'll go talk. You guys hang back because you both are almost dead anyway, and at least you could,
jump in,
try and assassinate him if something goes south. But I could try and go talk. And
okay.
See what the hell's gonna happen.
I'm gonna follow within. I'm not gonna follow you all the way down, obviously, but I'm gonna come and just kind of be your sniper.
Yeah. My Overwatch
type of thing. Yeah, your Overwatch. And as you go down to talk to him, I'm going to set my sights on the white-haired man with my longbow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Shao. Are you going with Cho?
I have no dark vision, so my sight is pretty bad up here.
Neither does he. The only thing you could see is 10 feet in front of you.
Yeah.
You have a 10-foot range from the moonlight. And you could see where they have lit up the entrance to the cave with torches.
I'm gonna hang up here because I'm useless. I'm useless. If I trip and fall, I probably kill myself. So
true. All right.
I remain up.
Okay, Cade, are you trying to make your way around stealthily?
Yes.
All right, go ahead and make a stealth check first, and then I'll have you make your athletics check to climb down.
Not terrible. 13, and then athletics.
All right, you do not fall down the mountain.
Athletics, a 12.
You
do fall down the mountain.
You're making your way down carefully. You're not extraordinarily stealthy. They don't seem to be looking up and noticing you as of yet. Yeah. But I'll say that you make your way 30 feet down and over closer to where they are.
Mm-hmm.
Show, you will need to make a stealth check.
That is a 19.
Okay. You
17 on the athletics.
get to you're kind of following brother as well. All right. Shao, you're still in the same place. Nothing happens on your end. Cade, make another set of rolls. Or go ahead, Shao.
Well, I was gonna. I'm sorry, my timing is really bad. Joe, I think you should have gave Cade the signet ring, just in case. I have a bad feeling about this ring. That it means a lot more to this whole situation that we don't know anything about.
Well, hopefully we're going to find out, and I'm close enough to where...
Yeah, I think you should... I don't know if it's meta moment or before we even set off. I'd like to...
I will say that before he starts going,
Okay.
you tell him this, and he's like, good idea. Now, anything after this, and you're going to have to make checks to go catch up with them. All right, so Cade, your brother Cho summons you.
Go.
Go ahead.
Brother thinks that maybe you can use this ring as a bargaining chip. They may need it much more than we know what it even has a use for. Take this with you, brother.
All right. Anything better than nothing. I'll use it if I think it's gonna help. I take it, put it in my pocket, and I start heading down.
Make another set of rolls.
Stealth,
and then athletics.
not that good. That's a 6.
Okay.
Athletics, 15.
And Cho.
Stealth, 24.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the next one? Athletics?
Yep.
12.
Okay. Neither of you fall down the mountain. You are now 60 feet down, and basically
Didn't we have climbing gear at this point? Like from that ledge and down?
So
yeah.
You get to the place where your climbing gear was set up, and nothing's there.
Shit. Okay.
The bell ringing stops. You see one of the white furs motioning up to where you guys are, and you see the white-haired man stop ringing the bell, and he turns, and he sets the bell and the staff down, and he walks very slowly, as if still wounded from the time that you wounded him. He walks over towards the white fur and seems to be like, you could see him mouthing words, and the white fur like nods, and then like he seems to comprehend what they're saying, and the white fur points up to where you guys are, and you see the man with the white hair look up at you, and then you see him walk back over towards the cave, and he kind of disappears under the canopy of the cave entrance. The rest of the white furs seem to just be standing there waiting.
Making my way down.
Okay. If you are climbing down towards their entrance, and that is your intent, you don't need to make any more rolls. I will say that you carefully climb down. You make your way down. Cho, how far are you going down at this point, or are you stopping?
How is the, am I on a ledge with a decent vantage point where I can be fairly accurate with my bow from this point?
You could still see all of the white furs and all of the captive, the captives. You can't see the white-haired man though, because he's gone inside the entrance of the cave.
I will stay here. I'm too low on health to risk any mishaps on the rope.
Okay. Cade, you get down to within about 30 feet. And one of the and you could see now, like, much clearer how badly all the captives look. Like, some of them are barely able to like stay put on their knees. They're like wobbling. They're cut up. They're bruised. They're, they look about as bad as your brothers. And Mongozo even looks like he's barely conscious. The white furs do not approach you or make any motion, to move towards you as you descend to the level that they're on, except one of the white furs just he grunts at you, and he's like, and he points to the cave.
Son of a bitch. Okay, I go in.
So you see, because there are torches, and there are also 2 torches inside of the cave. You see the white-haired man wrapped in his blanket, sitting on a stone, almost like a small stool inside of the entrance of the cave. And he sees you and he says, "Please come and sit that we might talk."
Is there another stone to sit on?
Yeah.
Okay, I go. Sit.
He nods, and for a moment he looks at you. And by the way, when he was speaking to you, he was speaking to you in Iraqi.
Okay, I was going to ask that.
The strange thing is that he spoke it almost like he had an accent. Kind of like how you guys speak Iraqi. But it's not like a Sacuran accent. It's not an accent that you recognize, but it's definitely not.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like the native Iraqis speaking Iraqi.
Right. He learned it like we learned it, He's from
Yeah.
somewhere else.
As you sit across from him and he's studying you and you're looking at him, you see that despite his apparent age because of his white hair, he's not as frail or old as maybe the white hair would seem to indicate.
Right.
And that though his frame was slim, it seems like a sinewy sort of musculature.
Yeah.
He says, "Your brothers have come here to create war." And he kind of looks at you quizzically, as if that was a question. You're not sure if it was a question or just a statement.
He just says
but he
it.
just said that.
Yeah.
He said, "To kill and steal."
We've been asked to come claim the mine that was once lost.
He says, "The mine was never theirs to take. It was the mountain. The men before came and brought their camp and began to take from the mountain. They did not ask.
Ask you or ask the mountain? Who speaks for the mountain?
He looks out towards the white furs. He says, "It is their place to say, but they cannot speak. They cannot speak your tongue, so I speak it for them."
Where are you from? You don't sound like you're from here. You don't look like you're from here.
Neither do you.
I'm from Sacura.
Yes. I have seen your kind before, here in this region. There are many of them now, but they also steal like you. They go from place to place, pillaging what they want. Your kind.
The cycle of life requires things that we must take. We die in turn. That is how the world works.
You speak of the cycle of life. You must know that in nature, then, there must be balance. How many of my kind have you killed?
4.
He says, then would it not be just for me to tell them to finish off 4 of yours there? How should
You've
they
already
die?
taken one of ours before we ever did anything to you. Nearly killed my brothers too.
Your brothers came to take. They were merely defending what is theirs. This is their home. Where else could they go?
Where are they from? They're not native to here. I know this at least.
No. It was not their intent. But they came here so that others would not suffer. Just as I came here so that, and he stops and he kind of like looks down at the ground for a moment. And then he looks up and he says, we never left this mountain or this valley. We have never attacked or disturbed any of the others who live on this island. Not near the lake or the town. Not even the fishermen who come along the coast. And yet, why is it that time and time again, men like you and your company come to take from the mountain? What offer do you bring?
They don't belong here. And it doesn't seem like you do either.
Well, there is no ship that you possess on this island that could get them home. They are very, very far away from their home, much further than you are from yours.
Are you from the original mining expedition?
No.
Is that your stuff at the top of this mountain?
You see his eyebrow raise, and he's like, ah, so that is how you came in. Very much like thieves, sneaking in. You were not invited.
Neither were you.
Right?
I have been here longer than you, boy. And I will be here longer than you. And they will be here. If they decided to, they could destroy every living person on this island. They could destroy that town in one night. It has been done before. The Iraqi people know. That is why they never moved past the edge of the lake. Their greed was once legendary, and they were taught a lesson in respect. You seek the wealth of the mountain. Why? Is it that your brothers and you would stay here and grow the size of that town?
We're on a journey ourselves. We were heading to another land on a ship when we were attacked by a giant serpent and shipwrecked nearby. And then we came to this island and we built up a small life with the survivors. We were tasked to come reclaim this mine so that we may build enough wealth to leave and go where we were on our way. That's the truth. I lost everything.
You have not lost everything.
My sister is everything, and she was killed. So yes, that is my everything. I adored her. She was the best of us.
He says, I will not kill any of your men yet. You and your brothers will come to this cave. There will be a decision tonight. And he looks out and he says, and although he sounds differently, he sounds like a man making the noises of the white furs. You could tell that, like, basically he is able to mimic their sounds. You see two of the white furs turn and begin, like, kind of walking off towards the ledge of the mountain. He says, "Go call your brothers and tell them to come down. They will have safety unless they are foolish and they try to attack."
I stand up slowly and I walk outside and I call to my brothers in Sacuran. Come down. We're going to talk.
Shao, you hear this. Your brother Shao doesn't, so you would have to relay it to him.
Can he hear me from where I am?
Yeah, you're kind of halfway between.
Shao, brother, come to me.
Okay. All right. I try to transverse down that scary mountain.
You take your time to be sure. You're very careful. At one point, you kind of like do a slip and slide, but your brother Cho is there, and then together you kind of go from that midpoint down carefully. The whole time you're being watched. There's a ring of white furs who are watching the captives, but two of them that have separated off who are just watching both of you. They don't seem to be in a combative stance. They're just watching you. As you guys get down to the level, one of them, without making any noises, just gestures with its claw towards the cave, and you see your brother Cade standing just inside of the cave with a couple torches illuminating the spot, and you see the white-haired man wrapped in a blanket looking at you guys. And as you approach the cave towards your brother Cade, the two white furs just walk behind you, kind of making sure that you're not going to make any sudden moves. And they stand just within 10 feet of you guys as you're sitting inside of the cave. The white-haired man looks at the three of you and he says, You came to this place from your homeland, seeking opportunities. He says, this is what your brother said. We are not so very different. I too came to this land with my family, my parents and my siblings, brothers and sisters. And for a time, my family found security and prosperity on one of the islands. He says, but this good fortune was not mine to have. So for reasons that I will keep to myself, I had to leave my family behind and come here to live in solitude and to live a different sort of life. I have told your brother that many before have tried to come and take from the mountain and take from this valley. And the people will not surrender what is theirs. They are the guardians of the mountain and of this place. They do not take from you or from the other people of this island. They only use what they need, and they live in harmony with the land. You seek to mine the wealth of the mountain. And so I asked your brother, what would you offer in return for that which you seek to take? And he looks at the three of you.
Respectfully, If this mountain existed here before you or the creatures came, this mountain belongs to the people of this island. Why have they not been able to mine their own currency?
And the people of this island are standing there. And he gestures out at the white furs. He says, they are the people of this island. Long before your people or the Iraqi came here. Or even that one from Borea. And he gestures to Mwangozo.
So we were led to believe that you immigrated here as well.
I did.
I mean the white furs. When I say you, I mean all of you.
No.
They are from this land originally.
No. But they were the first to come here. Hundreds of years ago, before your people crossed the seas from Sacura, or the Iraqi came from Arakazine. Our people were the first to brave the seas. The first of whom were able to cross in small boats from island to island, navigating and weaving our way through dangerous seas to this place. So far did we travel and through such terrifying conditions that we knew that once we found a place we would never return home, nor could we. The Karsh did not want any of you here.
Is that
I got a question. Bill, this guy, when we talked to White Eagle, did this guy match the description at all?
No. No.
Okay.
But then again, he doesn't look like anyone you've seen.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
He says, my people came long, long ago. But there is no way that we could return home, even if we desired to do so. There is no ship that would take us back
to
Arakazine.
Arakazine. Do the white furs require the resources of this mountain to sustain life?
He says yes and no.
So
the people, he says that the people, the mountain provides blessings to the people. The people may live a very long time, much longer than the lifespan of any normal man. And in keeping the wisdom of the people and keeping the land, we offer the care to the mountain and the care to the land, and thus we are blessed with the longevity.
Without opening trade route, the people of this island are trapped and isolated from the rest of the world, which might be fine for you, but they need to sustain life as well. Can a mutual accord be reached that will allow us to mine this for these people? What would you require in exchange? We did not attack until provoked. We came to speak to them originally, and they threw stones and boulders at us.
The people are very wary because there are many on this island in the past who have tried to come and take from the valley, take from the mountain. When you come with weapons and make camps and have the intent to use the mine, the people become very protective. He says, I must apologize for the killing of one of your own. They ventured out at a time when I was not able to control my affliction.
Your affliction?
There is a reason why I can appear as you see me now, but I can appear as they do as well. And he gestures out to the white furs.
Well, there's your
So you killed our
confirmation.
comrade. Because we were told that he was chased by a man naked.
I was
and then
simply
changed.
observing. I was simply observing this camp. I was trying to gauge the intent of your people. And as I saw not one camp, but now two camps being formed, I became very concerned about your numbers, and I was observing them.
Insight for
I must
intention.
have. Yep, go ahead.
17.
He seems to be telling the truth. As I was observing, I perhaps spooked them. They attacked me. And as I was attacked, unarmed and unarmored, it triggered my affliction, and my rage took over.
Are you... Is it...
Are you a 15th level Barbarian Druid?
Yes.
Is it a curse, or is it magical? Or the transformation? Is it...
Biological or...
Right, is it biological or
Magical.
is it magical?
It is a disease which cannot be cured. It is not a curse.
Were Yetis.
It is not a curse. It is an unfortunate affliction that takes an effect. Some generations are skipped over and are fortunate not to inherit this. And some are afflicted.
So do you
My
dictate...
sons were spared the affliction, but I did not wish to bring ruin to the life that I had built for my family, and so it was that I came to this island.
So you keep saying people. So obviously everyone here that is,
has the affliction?
yeah, has the affliction is...
He looks out at the white furs again and he says,
But you're able to control it and they are not?
they will never change into a human form.
Again or ever?
Were they humans
Ever.
before?
Yes. He says they are the last survivors. We cannot multiply in the same way that normal humans can. Our offspring are more likely to die at birth, so it is very rare to have offspring. That is why the slaying of one of our youths is a great atrocity that you have committed. I have negotiated with the people to not slaughter your entire group and the village. They have agreed to allow me to speak with you that we might find a means of balancing what has been done so that slaughter will not have to happen.
Questions?
See, the people are prone to give in to the beast.
Question, Bill.
They do not remember what it is like to be a human anymore because they have been in this form for a long time, hundreds of years. Hundreds of years. Question?
Yes. The priest that was in town, do I think it's even plausible that he has the clerical power to heal any of these people? Maybe we could reintroduce them back into society as humans, if that's even possible.
So, from a meta perspective, you're at your character's druid level and knowledge of magic. You know he's not a druid, but he is divinely empowered. Yes. You do not think that he is higher level than you. You feel like he might be like the same level, or close to your level in terms of his divine magical ability, which makes you think that he could probably heal. He could probably cure wounds. He could maybe heal, poisons and diseases and stuff. But you're not sure if he could like cure this level of a situation.
It was worth a shot.
And you're not even sure if this can be cured at all. It sounds to you, it sounds like your character wouldn't necessarily know this, but it sounds like a genetic thing.
Right. It's not like lycanthropy where you can.
It's not like lycanthropy. Yeah. And by the way, postscript, you specifically, not so much your brothers, but you as a druid from Sacura, lycanthropy is a real thing in Sacura.
Right.
And it's not just wolves. Like it's weird things.
Right.
Like were sharks and were tigers and other creatures. Like that's kind of common in Sacura.
Okay.
What do your people call yourselves? Because white first sounds derogatory.
He says, I do not know how to say it in your tongue. It is.
Where are you from?
He says,
where are you from?
Says
I just said it back to him. That shit was amazing.
Stop.
We are from Arakazine, but we are not Iraqi.
Then who are you? Who are your people?
We descend from the Kronai. Our people dwelled in the north of Arakazine. We are the people. He says, we were there in the land before the Iraqi were there. Before the Kemrog.
What do you need from us for mutually beneficial sustaining of life?
Get off my lawn, that's what.
That's not going to happen.
I know.
We can't sentence one group of people to die while the others live here carefree. There must be a mutual beneficial symbiotic relationship between the mountain and the land below.
What is it that you seek from the mountain? The ore?
The ore is necessary to sustain a level of life and to move into the future. For the people.
If I could tell the people that you would only use the ore from the original mine that was dug by the men long ago, and you would not dig further into the mountain or up into their lair, that you would never trouble their people. What would you bring in offering? They see you as those who just take. What would you do to make balance and make peace?
What do they eat?
What do they need? I mean,
besides food. Food could be arranged. Do they need other things? They don't seem to carry much in tools.
And why live in the mountain when you can live out in the open and not be subjected to dampness and
The elements.
This is probably the closest they feel to home. The terrain.
well, at their
the-
state that they're in? But
Correct.
that's not what they are.
But they cannot become human again.
He says, would you agree not to build any towns or settlements anywhere near the mountain or the valley? Only a mining camp.
That sounds very agreeable.
It does.
Would
Is
you
it-
agree also to tell the fishermen not to fish along the north shore of the island ever?
Is that where they hunt and gather?
Yes.
I think they avoid it for the most part, but we can give them that warning as well and tell them not to be there.
Perhaps more importantly, once you have established your resources and grown in prosperity, if there were to be any unwanted invaders to this island from other places, would you swear to uphold and defend the valley and the mountain from other invaders?
I think we could broker an alliance between the White Furs and the Iraqi.
We
Help
will
each
not.
other in those situations.
You would need to make sure that all denizens of this island held the White Fur, as you call them, as sacred, never to be hunted, never to be attacked. Do you have this influence? Would you make it so?
We can propose it to the Iraqis, and
You
we
must
will
propose it.
definitely. Well, we can definitely.
We can try, like I just said, broker that treaty with those conditions that you've set forth.
And we will have trusted individuals that will stay behind as we continue on our travels that will uphold this treaty.
And to show some good faith and to right a wrong, I pull out the ring, and I believe this is yours. And the other stuff, brothers, give it to them. They're not ours. It's his.
He says, he takes the journal, and as he takes the journal and the signet ring, you notice that he kind of looks at it almost curiously, as if he hasn't looked in it in a long time. But then he kind of sets it down on the ground next to where he's sitting, and he pulls his blanket up around him again.
The clothes as well, Brother Cho.
He says, those you can keep. I will not have a need for them. He says, one more thing. You intend to go to other places. He looks at Cade, and then he looks back at you guys, and he says, your brother said that it was originally your intent to go to a different island, and that by ill fortune, you were shipwrecked and lost members of your family.
That is correct.
Yes, a man of the sea that had the head of a shark marooned us. Are you familiar with this creature?
You notice he looks at you and he says, when did this happen?
How long has it been, guys?
Yeah, it's like been months.
Yeah, a couple of months.
Yeah, we were attacked by a giant serpent, and then that shark-headed asshole shipwrecked us.
Was your ship coming from Sacura? Was it a large ship?
Yes.
Was.
That was
We lost everything.
our money, our sister.
Mother.
This is curious.
Almost.
You notice that he seems to be intrigued with this, and he's like, he doesn't say anything. He's just kind of looking down and contemplating. He says, but it was from Sacura,
That's where we departed.
and only Sacurans were on this ship,
That's right.
and
We
it
were
was
heading
a
towards-
Sacuran-made ship.
Yeah.
He
was a
seems
beautiful
like
ship.
asking you these questions. Oh, like he can't wrap his head around it.
Okay, so I have a meta question. We
Yeah.
don't know where
There
the
could
ship
have been.
actually came from.
Oh yes,
Where we're
oh yes, you do, because
Okay.
Sacuran ships look like
Sacuran
Sacuran
They're
ships.
super
Like,
dope. That's what they are.
they're the
Yeah.
craftsmanship and like
We got the
decorative
dopest
nature
boats
of
there
them.
are.
just making sure. Okay.
Like your ship was like basically like a wooden carved sea dragon, like, you know what I mean, like this gorgeous painted. I mean, they take great pride in their like shipcraft. Like you've seen the crappy fishing boats that are from
They're
Tizia,
rocking.
like
Yeah.
it's basically like, you know, the most basic wooden thing that can float. So you're certain that the ship you were on, not to mention the captain that, you know,
Yeah.
you had with you. So he seems, make an insight roll.
Okay.
All of us are just okay.
Yeah, I mean, you're all there, so you can.
14.
That was shite.
21.
Okay, so Shao, you are
9.
certain that like he is very confused by this situation. Like almost like he doesn't believe you guys.
What the hell?
Wondering.
So
why-
I go ahead and I lean in to him, not really close, but just lean in the conversation, and I ask him, what is so perplexing that this event has happened to us personally, or that it's a Sacuran
Your
instance?
your people, the powerful ones, the one who rules your land, the emperor, has an accord with the Karsh. It is why your people have had so many ships and settlements and migrants in Nisia. It is because the Karsh allow it to be so. It is perplexing because I have never been aware of a Sacuran ship being attacked by the Karsh. This would be a great breach in the peace
That's
that has been in place for decades now.
now I'm at a real loss because what would they gain by attacking us? There was nothing but iron on the ship. There's nothing valuable.
The Karsh have no need for iron.
Then why would they attack us? Provoke a war?
Principle.
Why would they attack
Statement.
your ship was not a warship, was it?
No.
No.
No,
No.
no.
So then why would they, if they wish to start a war, why would they attack a passenger ship? This makes no sense. It is very...
Unless they were targeting someone on the ship.
Unless they knew who was on the ship. That's what I was thinking, brother.
Was there a member of the royal family on your ship? Are you members of the royal family?
We're members of a powerful family, but we're not
Not royalty.
high
You are not-
nobility.
You are not a blood relative to the emperor of your land?
Not a question. We're really not, are we? Because I
No,
don't remember.
you're like, you're not even a major noble family.
Yeah,
You're like a
we're like
minor
minors.
noble family.
Yeah.
No, he is still honestly, genuinely perplexed. He's like, I can offer no explanation for your tragic losses, but I will say that your people have prospered, and that should you find a way off of this small island and seek to go to another island, you must swear that you will not reveal these people or the mountain, because it may bring unwanted attention from foreigners and invaders. Do you understand what it is that I ask you?
I will not speak of this place nor these people outside of this island.
Nor will I.
He says, then before you go to negotiate with the people of the town, I have one more favor, and it is truly a favor, a personal favor, to add to this agreement, to be honored by you. And that is this. If you should come across any of my family, you must not tell them that I live, and you must not tell them where I am. Out of love, they would seek to find me. But I fear that my affliction would only bring them ruin, and I would not seek to have this. It is why I left. They, I hope, think that I have passed on.
So you all being here is self-imposed seclusion?
Yes.
For the safety of your loved ones?
Yes.
Then
Could we,
Go
if
ahead.
this arrangement becomes valid and honorable, if we do seek and find the means of a ship, would you be willing to relocate yourselves with your kind to a much safer location where you don't have to rely on anyone ever?
we got that other island.
Yeah, we've
Exposing.
got that other island on lockdown.
Yeah. Is that something that we can offer?
There is something that we need, though, that is here in the mountain.
Hmm.
If we leave the mountain, we will not.
So it's the longevity thing.
He says
Yeah,
that
yeah.
the
They'll
peace
probably
that
die.
is the peace that is brought through long life is also a peace that is instilled upon the natures of the people. While they are close to the mountain, they are at peace in their soul. It is the reason, this very reason, that when I went to spy on the further camp that you had to the south of here, it is why the affliction took hold of me. I was too far from the mountain, and it allowed my rage to take over. He says, do you understand now why we must stay here?
I see that.
There is something in this mountain that brings us peace.
Was it always here or was it brought here?
It was here before we came here. We found it. Some of the elders thought that it called to us.
Is it a mineral? Is it something
what?
that's mineable?
Make an insight roll.
I got a question for him. After
Oh, 22.
He doesn't seem happy that you're asking those questions. He doesn't
Well,
answer.
The reason why I'm going to try to persuade him, the reason why I bring this up, there are many secrets, obviously, and there's probably a lot more that you're not telling us, and it's none of our business. But if we are to honor your request of not telling anybody, we have to understand, which then we can minimize any further attempts at seeking out things that might not be under our control once we leave. So we can limit the exposure to you folks. Now, the people around here are mining silver, and then maybe perhaps the iron ore. Is it iron ore? I don't know. But if it's something that affects you personally,
He says that if the agreement comes to fruition, then the people will live above, and you will be allowed to use the mine as it is already in existence. There is more than enough iron and silver that you may have a fruitful yield without digging further into the mountain. But you and your miners must never dig further in or go above the mine to where the people live. And that is where the sacred source of the mountain is located. It is not a thing that you can take.
Can you show it to me?
When you return, from your negotiations with the village. And you have proof from the leaders of that village that this arrangement will be honored. Then perhaps I will show you.
One last question. If we're ever to run into your family, who are they? What is your family name? Do you want us to say anything that we found your grave or give them something?
Closure.
What about your
You see his eyes look down at the book and the signet ring. And he reaches over and he picks up the signet ring and he hands it to you.
I take it.
Okay.
And you see the symbol again that looks like a mountain and then two mountains upside down. And he says, I am Archibald Whitley. You must never tell my sons that I live or where I am.
If we find them or see them in our travels, we'll just tell them you have passed and give them this ring.
He nods. And that is where we'll end this episode of High Adventure.
Damn, I was gonna have
boy.
I was gonna have a sidebar with Archibald real quick. I wanted to talk to him about something.
Well, what
That
we'll
can
do
wait.
is before we'll have a little downtime in between, because presumably you guys are gonna take the captives who they have decided not to kill. You'll take half of your wounded men, including Wangozo, and then you would return to the village. You would make some negotiations, all of which we would do in downtime. Presuming that you're willing to honor the agreements that you said here verbally with Archibald, you would then return with a contract.
Mm-hmm.
And that contract, he, as a representative of the people, he would basically sign that contract.
Okay.
So in a downtime, fast narrative fashion, that is what would happen, right? You guys get back, and this is like, weeks go by, right? Like everybody heals up, and you have these negotiations with the different elders of the village. Both your Iraqi friends and your Sacuran friends all are on board, and basically because of your support, even though there are a few people that are a little wary about this, the opportunity to reopen the mine is something that everybody gets behind. So I assume that you kind of cement the idea that the white furs are off limits, that
Don't mess with
all
the
that
white
stuff.
furs.
Yeah.
Okay, you return to the mountain, just the three of you. Wangozo basically goes with you. He takes you as far as the valley, and then he actually tells you that he's going back to his ranch. You know where to find him. So
I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Wangozo
Please.
gives you all big hugs, and then he begins heading off, circling the lake, going back to his family. You guys get back to the mountain, and Archibald is there waiting. He takes you to the mine entrance, and the mine entrance has been cleared already. The white furs have cleared the rock
Thanks,
fall. You sit with Archibald. He reviews the paper and checks it over very thoroughly, and you see that he has a keen mind. He asks several questions to clarify things, and then he signs it ultimately. He walks you through the mine, and now, having been cleared from the exterior, the entrance, and the interior, you could see that it's pretty extensive. And he explains to you which directions you could still dig in and which directions you could still do excavations in. And he tells you that you know he's not 100% sure, but he thinks that there's silver in this way and there's some iron that way. So he kind of gives you a head start on in terms of how to go about the mining operation.
Right.
He basically, and then the camp that you guys had already kind of created is sort of dilapidated, but he tells you that as long as your mining camp stays in that original area where you are, and that all you do is go from the camp to the mine and then south to the lake, that you could ferry whatever ores you have down around the lake and then bring them down via pack horses back to the town. So basically that, you know, you kind of camp, and over the course of a few days, he gives you all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
The last thing he does is he takes Cade, and only Cade, back up to where the White Furs live. And he takes you in, and you notice that like he veers to the right. And as you're going through this very familiar space, he points out the tripwire so that you don't trip over it. And he leads you around it, and he leads you past the niches where you encountered those 3 White Furs and fought them. And the hallway turns again, and he leads you down another tunnel into a vast cavernous area. And it looks like the other side, but with even more sleeping areas. And you count about 32 White Furs, and at least 4 of them are little ones.
Okay.
And you notice that the little ones, like a couple of them are White Fur mode, and a couple of them are human child mode. And the human child mode have fair skin and white hair, straight white, like blonde
Archie.
white hair.
That's like Archie. Okay.
He leads you past them, and they're kind of like watching you, like with the he doesn't belong here, but they're not going to attack you because you're with Archibald. He leads you through their living space, and you see like up ahead, it kind of like there's like a rise to the cavern floor, and then there's like an arched cave entranceway, and you see 2 of the biggest White Furs that you've ever seen, like standing guard outside of this.
Okay.
You have not seen these 2 before.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were not part of the ring of 8 that you'd ever seen.
Yeah.
They're at least 4 feet taller than the other ones. And they are swole. They look at Archie and you know, and they just kind of like, they don't even nod. They just like look at you, and he beckons you forward. But before you even get to the archway, Cade, you see like a light. So you have your dark vision on. There's no light in these caves, but you see a soft white kind of bluish light emitting from this space. He leads you into this chamber, and it's a circular chamber. And sticking out from this encrustment of stone is a massive, crystal clear, smooth as glass chunk of glowing white / slightly blue crystal, and it's probably 5 feet in radius. Like it's like basically imagine like a crystal that is 10 feet around, right? This massive chunk of crystal, and it's faceted and stuff. Like imagine like a giant princess cut diamond.
Yeah.
Except it's not cut by man. It's actually like just looks that way, with a massive smooth table across the top, and it is just swirling with this bluish white glow inside. Oh, by the way, it's slightly colder, like 15 degrees colder in this room. And he says, "You wished to see why we must be here." And he reaches his hand out. He doesn't even touch the crystal. He just reaches his hand out. And he says, This is our gift. This is our blessing. It cannot leave. And he gestures to the fact that it's like literally embedded in the rock.
Yeah.
It cannot be mined. It is alive.
Do I know what this is from a druidic perspective? If I heard anything?
Investigation check.
No. There's a reason to.
Wow.
You have never even heard of anything like this on Sacura.
Yeah.
You don't need to make an Arcana check. You just know that this is magic.
Yeah. What is it? I've never seen anything like this. Never heard about this from any druid.
They go by many names. The people of Arakazine called them Godstones. Some called them the Tears. He says, the night that you came to the mountain with your brothers to steal in, you felt the power of the storm, did you not? That was the mountain protecting itself. He says, I trust that you will keep this secret.
I will speak of it with no one.
He nods. Come. And he leads you away from the chamber.
I follow.
As you follow him out, it's you sense the temperature change. It's and you.
A quick question: did I see anything in the crystal? Is there like anything in there?
It looked like there were lights, like swirling, almost like clouds of white fog inside, or a mist, and then like bluish and white lights kind of like swirling in a gentle sort of pattern.
Okay. No objects though.
No.
Of any kind. Okay.
So he leads you back out. You reunite with your brothers.
Yeah.
He has signed the contract, and he bids you good luck, and he hopes that this accord will keep and that there will be peace between the people and your people.
I hope so too.
And then you guys descend. Months go by in this downtime. Months go by as you establish this, first the mining camp with actual like physical buildings. You know, you're harvesting wood, you're building barracks, you're building warehouses, you're building carts, wagons, you're, basically the whole infrastructure, digging up and putting down stone for roads so that you're able to get the, basically you try to use as much as you can, right? So like when you excavate rock, if there's no ore in it, you have another group of guys breaking the rock up into like gravel and then digging up roads and putting the gravel down on the roads so that your carts can move smoothly towards the lake. And then you have a crew of people building, a dock at the lake so that small boats can be loaded and those boats can make it across the lake to another area where you're going down the hill, and around to the town. So there's a whole bunch, and you realize at a certain point it would have been a lot easier to just go from the mountain to the north coast to a boat and then around. But because of their agreement about the north coast, you have to go the long way. So it takes, it's literally like another year goes by because it's months to establish the camp, months to establish the infrastructure, months to establish and get the mine going, right? So an entire year is going to go by in that time. And in that time, you guys also, in addition to kind of running this whole thing, you continue training, you continue kind of, you know, building up your crew of resources. When the first, you know, raw ore starts coming through, you know, you have no way to process it really. There's no, like, you know, smelting area. So like that's another thing where you kind of make partnerships, and the blacksmith in town starts to grow his operation, and they start, you know, melting down the iron and start making use of the iron and stuff. So you start to create a stronger economy and a stronger kind of link between these resources now that you guys are bringing together and, you know, the village. And this all takes a long time. So that's where the whole year timeline comes from. So when we come back for season 2 of High Adventure, we will be picking up with you guys now having established this new operation and seeing what you decide to do with it in terms of trade and making connections with other islands. But that will be for season 2. So for all of those fans who have stuck with us through all of the first season of High Adventure, thank you guys so much. This campaign is a total blast. It is entirely run in my original world, and I'm appreciative of Aki and Kail and Heath to be players and kind of play testing this for us. So it's been a wild ride, and hopefully season 2 won't take too long for us to get back around to. So in the meantime, thank you. Of course, like, subscribe, all those cool things. And we will see you next season on High Adventure. Peace out, everybody.
Well, hello, and welcome to Bill Allen World. I am Wizzy, the Wizard. I'm back once again to remind you to subscribe and click on the notifications button, and also watch videos that are over there. Tune in to the next episode of whatever show you are just watching, and watch other shows featuring Bill. He made me say that because he's a narcissist. Okay, bye.